Can you please share a case study to illustrate the use of AI and maybe share with us what lessons did you learn during this process?
So I think our team did a project with some of our manufacturing organization. So it was using data to predict employee engagement as well as attrition risks. So it's quite a sensitive project. And what happened was we took lots of both like transactional HR data as well as some performance management data to figure out who were at risk of being like disengaged and who was at risk of leaving the company. And so this is actually very much on the complex side of AI in HR because of the sensitivity around the results that would come out. So I think I just want to pick out like 2 or 3 like elements of that, which I think is useful to discuss. Firstly, I want us to imagine what would happen if your manager knew you were about to leave the company. Would the manager promote you to retain you? Would the manager decide not to promote you because you're going to leave anyway and he wants to, save the promotion for someone who will stay? Will the manager treat you differently? Will he withhold rewards? Will he give you extra rewards? And so we see immediately that access to the results of an AI project is very sensitive. So I think, we took a lot of care to make sure that only very few select stakeholders, not the people manager, but very few select stakeholders in the most senior parts of the organization, as well as HR and compliance people had access to the information. That was the first thing. Secondly, I think I've seen some case studies done in quite a dangerous way. Like, people literally come up with a list of like, okay, Kingsley Gate, I think the next 10 people to quit would be these 10 people. And they'll be like, whoa. And that's really like not the intent of the project. The project is not for prediction, it's to look at the drivers of attrition. So it's not about the people who will leave, but what is driving the people to leave. And machine learning is able to do that in a very granular way. So, it's not just that people are unhappy because they don't have enough annual leave. You can look at, this particular kind of persona is driven by these things, and that particular persona is driven by these things, and even that individual might be driven by these things. And so rather than use it to go on like a witch hunt of like people who are about to leave, it's really about finding out what you could change in a company for different parts of the organization to retain them and to give them a better employee experience. And I think finally, there's also a bit of mystery around AI, and people are sometimes a bit uncomfortable with it. So we use it as an educational tool. So what happened was we did ask like people to list out, what you think the drivers were for different groups of employees to leave. And we used that to compare with what the AI thought drivers were. And so it becomes very personal. If I think in a certain way, or that person is left because of travel, because of location, because of salary, but the AI actually says, no, for that particular person, that particular band promotes very slowly. And that was the primary driver. And so you had all these like conversations where human perspective met AI perspectives, and they were able to have these discussions around our own blind spots as human beings. And to me, that's an example of a nice, way that AI systems and humans can work with one another, rather than, just blindly using it as like a tool to get information that's very sensitive. So I think it was quite a complex project, and it took quite long because of all the controls we put in. But I think, there's quite a few lessons there that we hope to replicate going forward.
That's interesting, because just the last point you mentioned about the exit interviews and what the company or the hiring manager might think the reason is for someone leaving, and what the AI might think. I think it's really has potential, because I don't know of any company who would say we do amazingly good at hiring exit interviews, or we do them consistently, or we actually get to the bottom of the reasons why people are leaving. Of course, there's this old saying that you don't leave a company, you leave a boss. But do we have the facts about that? I mean, do we really know? I mean, we all know our own stories. We all know our friends. We know why they quit and so forth. But I don't think companies know that. And to me, what's exciting about what you shared is that it's another way to have the conversation. You'll never really know at the end of the day. But have you asked yourself the tough questions? Have you challenged your conventional thinking about why people are leaving, for instance? And that's that. It's very interesting to see that MSD has gone that way, because I think that's really leading the way.
Thank you.